Let me ask you something. Have you ever smiled at someone and said, "I'm fine," when deep inside you were anything but fine? Have you ever laid in bed at night staring at the ceiling, feeling this heavy, invisible weight pressing down on your chest? A weight you couldn't even put into words? Most people around you would never notice. They see the smile, the conversations, the daily routine. But they don't see the truth, the quiet battles, the unspoken hurts, the memories you bury, the fears you never voice. That is what I call the silent weight. And the thing about this weight is, it doesn't make noise. It doesn't scream for attention. It just sits there, quietly, almost politely, but draining you little by little. And sometimes, even you don't realize how much of your life it controls. Today, we're going to uncover it. We'll talk about 7 powerful psychological truths about hidden emotional pain, truths that may explain why you feel the way you do, why you react the way you react, and why sometimes, despite having everything you thought you wanted, you still feel empty inside. This isn't going to be theory. This is going to be real, raw, and personal, because this story is about you. And if you've ever carried a silent weight that no one else could see, then this video might just be the mirror you've been avoiding. Here's something strange about emotional pain. When we deny it, when we hide it, when we pretend it doesn't exist, it doesn't vanish. It simply goes underground. Think of it like water seeping into the cracks of a wall. You don't see it, but it's there, slowly weakening the structure. Hidden emotional pain works the same way. You tell yourself, "It's not a big deal. I've moved on. I don't want to think about it." But deep inside, it's still shaping how you feel, how you think, how you treat others. Psychologists call this repression, the act of pushing memories and feelings out of conscious awareness. And in the short term, repression can actually help us survive. Imagine a child living in a chaotic home. They can't process the screaming, the rejection, the absence of love, so the mind says, "Forget it. Pretend it never happened." That child grows up, seemingly fine. But years later, they wonder why they feel anxious when someone raises their voice, or why they can't trust anyone fully. That's the silent weight resurfacing, and it doesn't stop at the mind. Truth number 2 is even more surprising. Your body remembers what your mind forgets. Studies in trauma psychology show that unprocessed pain leaves physical imprints, tight shoulders, stomach knots, headaches that no doctor can fully explain. Have you noticed how your body stiffens when you're reminded of something painful, even if you can't put your finger on why? That's not weakness. That's memory stored in muscle, in nerves, in posture. You carry your history in your body. Every sigh, every slump, every restless night, they tell the story you don't say out loud. So the question is, what pain are you carrying silently? What memories have you pushed away, only for your body to whisper them back in aches, fatigue, or unexplained tension? Because here's the hard truth. Until you face it, the weight doesn't lift. You might distract yourself with work, relationships, or entertainment, but the body never forgets. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. The heaviest part of emotional pain isn't always the memory itself. It's the story you build around it. Imagine this. When you were younger, maybe someone you trusted deeply betrayed you. A parent walked away. A friend broke your confidence. A partner chose someone else. The raw event hurt, but what stayed with you was the story you whispered afterward. I must not be enough. I must not be lovable. I must not be safe. And here's the trick. Once that story is written in your mind, you start seeing the world through its lens. Psychologists call this a core belief system. It's like wearing tinted glasses. Everything you experience gets colored by that one narrative. So you go for a job interview, and before they've even asked the first question, you think, they probably won't want me. You meet someone new, and deep down, you wait for the moment they'll leave. You succeed at something, and your inner voice says, it was luck, not me. This is how hidden emotional pain sneaks into daily life, by scripting invisible rules. You don't see the ink, but the words run through every thought, and sometimes those stories are inherited. Maybe your parents carried their own hidden pain, feelings of unworthiness, failure or shame. Without realizing, you absorbed their narrative. What they believed about themselves slowly became what you believe about yourself. That's why healing emotional pain isn't only about releasing the memory. It's about rewriting the story, asking, what did I tell myself in that moment? And is that story really true? Let me give you an example. There's a story of a boy who grew up never hearing a kind word from his father. The father wasn't cruel, just silent. No hugs, no praise, no acknowledgement. The boy grew into a man who achieved big things, degrees, promotions, even a family of his own. But inside, his silent weight was this story. If my own father couldn't love me, how could anyone else truly love me? That wasn't reality. That was a story born from absence, and the man didn't realize until decades later that the story was the cage, not the memory itself. So I'll ask you now, what stories have you been quietly repeating to yourself? Do you tell yourself you're not enough? That you'll always be left? That nothing you do matters? Because sometimes the heaviest weight we carry isn't what happened to us, but the meaning we attach to it. Here's the thing about emotional pain. No matter how well you hide it, it always leaks, especially in relationships. Have you ever wondered why you pull away from people just when they get too close? Or why you keep choosing partners who treat you poorly, almost like you're repeating the same painful movie over and over again? That's not coincidence. That's unresolved emotional pain running the script. Psychologists call this repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to recreate old wounds, hoping this time they'll end differently. A child who grew up feeling abandoned may unconsciously be drawn to emotionally unavailable partners, as if to say, if I can make this person stay, maybe it proves I was lovable all along. But here's the cruel twist. Usually, it ends the same way, and the silent weight grows heavier. It doesn't stop at romance. Hidden pain can shape friendships, work relationships, even how you parent. For example, if you secretly believe you're not worthy, you may overgive in relationships, always pleasing, always fixing, terrified of conflict. People might see you as kind, but deep down you're exhausted, because your giving is fueled by fear, not freedom. If you carry anger from the past, you may explode over small things. Your partner leaves dishes in the sink, and you react as if it's betrayal. Because in your body, every small disrespect feels like that old wound reopening. If you never learned safety as a child, you may control obsessively, trying to organize every detail, not because you love order, but because chaos once broke you. And maybe you've asked yourself, why do I keep sabotaging the very relationships I want to work? The answer is simple but hard. Unhealed pain doesn't stay inside. It spills out. But here's the good news. Awareness changes everything. Once you see the pattern, you can step back. You can pause in the moment of anger and ask, am I reacting to now or to then? You can notice your urge to chase the unavailable person and ask, am I seeking love or am I chasing my old wound? Hidden pain is like a ghost. It haunts your relationships until you finally face it, name it, and let it go. Think about this. Why does silence feel so heavy? Because what we don't say stays. The tears you swallow, the apologies you never received, the anger you never expressed, they don't disappear. They live inside you, turning into pressure, stress, and sometimes even illness. There's a famous saying in psychology, what the mouth cannot speak, the body will express. Headaches, chest tightness, digestive problems, they can all be the echoes of silenced emotions. But expression changes that. Not always in words, sometimes in art, music, journaling, or even tears. Think of the last time you finally told someone what you'd been holding back for years. Do you remember the feeling afterward? That strange mix of exhaustion and relief, like a burden slipping off your shoulders. That's the healing power of expression. Yet many of us were taught the opposite. Don't cry. Don't complain. Stay strong. We equate silence with strength. But silence is not strength. Silence is storage. And the longer you store, the heavier it gets. So here's the truth. Expression doesn't make you weak. It makes you lighter. When you name your pain, you take away its power to control you. Ask yourself, what would happen if just once you spoke the unspeakable? Here's something subtle but profound. Hidden pain doesn't just stay in the past. It becomes the lens you use to see everything in the present. A person carrying rejection sees rejection everywhere. A person carrying shame finds reasons to be ashamed even in success. It's like trying to watch a movie through a cracked screen. No matter how beautiful the scene is, all you notice is the crack. That's why healing isn't just about fixing the past. It's about cleaning the lens through which you see your future. And this leads to the seventh truth, maybe the most important one. Healing begins the moment you stop running. Most of us run from our pain. We bury it in busyness, in achievements, in scrolling, in relationships. We run so hard that we forget we're running. But pain has patience. It waits. And the more we run, the heavier it feels when it finally catches us. But here's the paradox. The moment you stop running, the weight begins to lift. Because pain isn't here to destroy you, it's here to teach you. To show you where love is missing, where boundaries are broken, where forgiveness is needed, where truth must be spoken. Healing doesn't mean the memory disappears. It means the memory no longer defines you. So tonight, when you're lying in bed staring at the ceiling, instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" try asking, "What is this weight trying to show me?" Because maybe the silent weight you carry isn't just a curse. Maybe it's an invitation. You see, the silent weight you carry doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Everyone you meet, the confident boss, the smiling neighbor, the friend who seems to have it all together, they're all carrying something unseen. The only difference is whether they've chosen to face it. So I'll leave you with this. Your hidden pain is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your healing. The question is, will you finally stop running long enough to listen? If this video spoke to you, don't keep it silent. Share it. Someone else out there is carrying their own hidden weight, and maybe these words are the ones they need to hear tonight. And if you want more conversations like this, psychology, philosophy, and the truths that make us human, subscribe to Mentoria Official. Because the heaviest pain is the one we carry alone. And here, you don't have to carry it alone anymore.